The representation was made by us from Haryana Chamber of Commerce, but till today I do not know what is the situation. Like we have low melt polyester fiber that is used in technical textiles and a normal polyester fiber. They are under the same heading, 5503-2000. This results in a problem in customs. Similar is the case for the expanded polypropylene, which is used in automobile parts, and it is made into similar HS code like polypropylene granules for carry bags. This creates confusion at the custom and also while giving benefit or imposing duty on a particular item, and also for anti-dumping duties. Recently there was a case where anti-dumping duty was imposed on the EPP granules. But that EPP granules was not expanded polypropylene. That was a polypropylene granules. But heading being same, there was no way out from this custom. It was from, I think, Korea or some other place, specific ban from a country. Sir, in case of tough subsidy, which is another point which is very close to my heart, there was so much hurdles created. There was a interim period, there was a blackout period, there was a what you call a UID period, there was a registration period. This all created so much of confusion that there are, I think, thousands and thousands of applications for subsidy pending. And there is no use if the interest is charged today and you get a subsidy after 3 years or 5 years. This is not to say that Textile Commissioner or any other body is at fault. There is a long chain, sir. First, the bank has to be skillfully trained to know how to fill up the forms of TUF. I personally have gone through this. In the banks, in 2-tier cities, second-tier cities like Panipat and other places, they do not know how to fill up the forms. Then you need a consultant to fill up the forms. That consultant then gives to the paper to the bank, then bank branch of Panipat forwards the papers to the Bombay branch. Then the Bombay branch gives it to the Textile Commissioner office. Then the Textile Commissioner vets the paper. Ultimately, all information is lost. And the industrialist who is in Panipat or other places is not aware whether his paper has been submitted or not. Now I understand the Office of Textile Commissioner has appointed a consultant to look for the reason of these backlogs. And similar is the case with the banking industry. You have to see whenever a new entrepreneur takes up a project in the bank, he makes a project report looking at the scene which he is not aware of because he is a new startup. His project report says 10 crore rupees sale in 1 year. But his actual sales are, say, 3 crores or 4 crores. The ratios being not good, the bank starts charging him a penal interest in the beginning itself, thereby creating a problem for the entrepreneur that in the beginning only he is in a soup. The bank doesn't listen to him that he is starting and gradually his sales will increase. But that is how the inverted structure of interest is being charged by the bank, which disturbs his cash flow and promotes sickness. Hence, we have invited not only the cream de la cream speakers, we have also invited a wide delegate audience to try and make this discussion elaborate and in-depth in nature, and therefore has spread it over 2 days. Our idea, sir, is to put our best foot forward to complement the Honorable Prime Minister's dream and vision of Make in India. I once again thank my president and would like more seminars in the next year also, so that story of Sudama and Krishna is demystified. जैसे सुदामा रोता था कृष्ण को मिलने के लिए, वो कहते थे कृष्ण में भी तुम ऊपर जाके बैठ जाओगे, कहाँ मिलूँगा? Which is our position. You are here, sir, it is our luck. I thank all the dignitaries present here for listening patiently to me. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. I would now request Mr. Prashant Agarwal, Partner Wazir Advisors, to give us the theme address for the conference.
Textiles. And I can assure you, after my presentation, you will feel that Make in India will not be successful without textile being there at the forefront. This presentation is divided, while I'll be brief because on the paucity of time, but this is how the discussion points are. Why we are talking about Make in India? We need to really understand why we are talking about Make in India. Where does Indian textile and apparel industry stands? Does India has what it takes to grow, to make in India happen? How others are doing, how other countries have done it, and finally, if we want to make in India destination textiles, how it is possible? Why Make in India? First, Honorable Minister Sir, very make it focus that why we are all talking about Make in India in textiles, destination textiles. If you see our overall GDP, agriculture, 18% of our GDP comes from agriculture, which employs 47.2% of people. 18% GDP, 47.2% people. Then industry, here 24% is the industry GDP, but it employs 24.7% people. When I say industry, manufacturing is only 16% and 8% is construction in this. And then we go about services, 58% of GDP comes from services, and it employs what? Only 28.1% people. See, this is the anomaly. Each year we add 12 million people in the workforce. The target, the services can keep on growing, but it will only take care of few highly trained people. But India has large population. These 12 million people are the people who are 5th pass, 8th pass, 10th pass, 12th pass, and they want to work. And that's where the employment needs to be created. With technology advancement, even in a lot of manufacturing sector, the employment is really reduced. So is it the textile and apparel industry which can sustain? Ultimately, the solution for Make in India is that this agriculture employment goes down. The 18% of GDP may go to 20-22%. The employment of this 47%, out of this 15% should be taken care of by industry. Industry should move from 24% to 40%, out of which manufacturing can be 25 to 28%. Unless and until this balance is not maintained, I think Make in India in textile will not be successful. I think this is what Make in India has to do. I will just briefly go, where does Indian textile, all of us know, we have understood the numbers, $816 billion trade. This year, $18 billion market, with domestic industry stands at 76 billion and exports at 42 billion. We know the consolidation is happening. Earlier, there were 11 countries which were having more than 3% of export share. Now, there are only 7 countries which have more than 3% global export share, and India is among them. Why? We need to, as I told you, we need to ask ourselves this question, that can Make in India happen in textile? Do we have strengths to really take our share from 5 to 10%? And for that, I think some of the indicators are, if you see China having 39-40% share, their labor cost has almost gone to 4 times than India. India is $150 per month. China is almost touching $600 per month. With this kind of labor cost, it's an opportunity for India that they should come in forefront and take the share. Another point, Indian domestic market. Today, if you see India and China, both together have a domestic market of $260 billion, while US and Europe is $600 billion. Just projected to 2025, the apparel market size of India and China will be $730 billion, and US and Europe will be $725. So we are talking about India and China together taking over US and Europe. And that's what we have to, while there will be issues in domestic market, there will be a lot of issues, but we need to make sure that we are present in Indian domestic market and make in India really happen for domestic market also. It's not only for exports. Definitely, we have presence of all raw materials, we have labor cost, all of this I have already talked about. I think this is also very, very important, Honorable Minister Sir, a slide to understand. No other industry, if you see, if you put up a garment unit with 15 crore of investment for 500 machines, you can have an employment of 1,000 workforce. 1 crore of investment gives you an employment of 70 people. 100 crore investment gives you employment of 7,000 people. Can you tell me what we are talking about, defense, electronics, all these sectors, which industry can create this kind of employment? No other than textile and apparel industry. And Honorable Minister Sir, I think with the vision of Honorable Prime Minister, what we are talking about for Make in India, you will find our garment and textile industry entails everything. Our garment textiles, first, let's talk about Make in India. All 25 sectors that we have considered, textile and apparel industry is one of them. Second, Skill India. Which other industry in 30 to 45 days, you can train a 5th class pass person and get him employed and make him work. This is this industry. So Skill India, what we are talking about, will be more successful only in textile and apparel industry. Women empowerment. More than 50% of labor force in this industry is women. Which other industry can absorb so much of women? Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, again with garment industry we talk about, where is the pollution? There is no pollution. Rural youth employment. So all what government is today talking about, this textile and apparel industry can give everything. Definitely it's supported by various central government schemes and initiatives. There will be issues. I think we will have a lot of deliberations. We will discuss with you, sir, once we will come out with what are the deliberations and what is industry needs. There are a lot of incentives by state government. Has somebody implemented this theme? Yes, US has done 100 years back. China has done in last 20, 30 years. US, Europe and Japan has done it. Now, it is a turn of India to make it happen, and we just need 4 pillars. New processes and policies. We have to think new. We can't be doing what we have been doing earlier. When in terms of processes and policies, we have to think absolutely new. New infrastructure needs to be created. New growth sectors need to be identified. We can't say that what we have done till now, it will take us to there, what we want to achieve. No, we have to think of new growth sectors and new mindset. Honest, I think that's very, very important. We have to see this industry with a new mindset. With a new mindset, a lot of new investments will come, a lot of new entrepreneurs will come, and this industry will take a different shape in times to come. This is very important. These 4 pillars for Make in India are really, really important. And how to make this Make in India, I think few points, sir, very, very important. Labor law simplification. We need to focus on attracting FDI. FTA is very, very important. Now all countries with TPP getting signed, all investment, last year itself, $12 billion worth of investment has happened in Vietnam. Bangladesh with TPA, with FTA with Europe has huge advantage. Pakistan has advantage. When all these countries are getting advantage, why India should be lagging behind? Very important. Achieving fiber neutrality, we have talked about how synthetic fiber need to be focused for investment growth. Further improvement in cost competitiveness. We need to talk about product diversification and quality improvement. So these are the mantras we can talk about if you really want to make in India happen with destination textiles. Last 2 slides on this, sir. I think with our Make in India, with our Honorable Prime Minister starting this Make in India campaign, all the big industrialists are talking about, for example, if you say Tata Sons, this program offers a unique and timely opportunity to make India truly global. Even Maruti Suzuki India chairman, India will eventually become one of the most competitive economies. And already investment has started flowing in with Modi ji going all around, promoting India. I think with these investments, it's non-textile investment, we have to convert them finally into textile and apparel investments also. And I think I will finish with this theme by our Honorable Prime Minister Modi ji. There's never been a better time to make in India. This is the time. I think we have to convert it into destination textiles. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Mr. Agarwal. I guess we are all on the same platform. So moving forward, I would request now Mr. Sadish Agarwal, President, the Textile Association of India, to give the presidential address.
Respected Shri Santosh Kumar Gangwar, Honorable Union Minister of State for Textiles Independent Charge, Madam Sunaina Tomar, Joint Secretary in the Ministry, Madam Geeta Narayan, Joint Secretary in Ministry of Textiles, industry leaders like Shri Shekhar Agrawal, Vice Chairman, L&J Bhilwara Group, Shri V.K. Ladia, Founder Chairman, SRSL Group, Shri Sanjay Jain, Managing Director, TT Limited, and other distinguished guests. Good morning to all of you. First of all, I would like to welcome our Guru, Professor Balwant Rai Bhatnagar, who has come all the way from Bhiwani to bless this event. Professor Bhatnagar is the Guru of scores of technocrats present in this auditorium. As the President of the Textile Association Delhi in the hands of Shri Gangwar, I can say this with conviction, as my association with Shri Gangwar dates back to the year 1999, when he was the Union Minister of State for Petroleum and Natural Gas. As the Zonal Coordinator of the 50,000 strong Oil Sector Officer Association, I met Shri Gangwar on several occasions to find solutions to the problems of the officers community and, of course, the oil industry. He had been very understanding, and I'm sure that he is receptive and addresses the problem of textile sector as well. Today, India is the only major economy in the world which is expected to grow at a rapid rate for at least a decade. India today is a growth story which the world does not merely want to watch from a distance, but wants to be a part of it. The textile sector's current business of USD 120 billion is expected to reach USD 535 billion by the year 2024-25. With its strength and reach, the Textile Association India can make a very positive impact on the growth of the textile sector, and there is no better way to do this than to bring together the top professionals of the industry at one platform and to let them voice their frank, practical, and pragmatic ideas that would complement the visionary leadership of the nation. I urge the participants in the conference to come up with new, healthy, genuine, and practical ideas and suggestions for the textile industry and the government, which would help in accomplishing the objectives of the conference and the Prime Minister's dream. I wish everyone present here a healthy brainstorming. Friends, Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi, has sent us a signed message for the success of this conference as under. I'm happy to learn that the Textile Association India is organizing the National Textile Conference in New Delhi on October 26-27, 2015. I hope the conference will focus attention on important issues concerning the textile sector in India and provide a platform for innovative ideas and solutions to emerge. On this occasion, I convey my best wishes for the success of the conference. Thank you. Jai Hind, Jai Rashtra.
Thank you so much, sir, for the profound and the succinct message to the audience. Moving